Hello YouTube, my name is Jared Decker. I'm a photographer and a printer. And I wanted to have a quick discussion today about the new Photoshop update, the Photoshop 2021 that just came out this week. And one of the features in particular, and kind of the whole idea behind the direction that photography is going these days. The feature I'm talking about is the sky replacement tool. This isn't so much a tutorial, though we will go in and throw it onto a photo real quick, just to kind of see what it looks like. But it's more about a discussion with the community of what people feel like this means for photography, and if they approve of it, disapprove of it. Everybody's entitled to their opinions, obviously, but there's been a lot of stuff going around lately. Like I constantly see ads for this Luminar AI software, where you can basically get just a mediocre photo and flip some faders back and forth, and suddenly it's this mind-blowing piece of art. And yeah, that's a strange concept to me. So first, let's just dive into Photoshop and look and see what it does. So here we are in Photoshop 2021. This is a picture of Mount Hood in Oregon. So this is a good example of one of my issues before we even put the effect on here. That this is a spot I've driven to, an hour and a half each way, a half a dozen times. And I've never really gotten good lighting for sunset or for sunrise. So I put a lot of work in, 3 hours round trip. It's almost 20 hours of driving to get a good shot here. And it hasn't happened, and I'm okay with that because that's just part of photography. This lighting was okay as far as the sun going down behind me, and it put a nice glow on the mountain here, but the sky is pretty dull. So let's just check it out right away. This is only the second time I've used this. I didn't really change any settings. The first time I just opened it and closed it, basically. So we're going to go up to Edit, Sky Replacement. Wow. So there you go. That's a fake sky. It looks good. It's really weird. So let's kind of see what these controls do. Well, you have a bunch of different skies here. Spectacular. I think these are some of the more intense ones. It's portrait landscape, but down to sunsets. Let's look at a couple of these. Like a simple gradient. So let's stick with spectacular. All right, so shift edge. Okay, so it's just gonna the connection between your photo and the fake sky. Let's go somewhere in there. Fade edge. I like to make just big jumps so I can see pretty quickly what's going on. So that looks like it's just how quick it's fading in and out. Brightness of the sky, too bright, too dark. I'm gonna keep that around here in the middle. Temperature, cold, warm. I liked that better in the middle. The scale, I'm guessing this kind of zooms us in. Yeah. Or zooms us out, so the sky is too small now. Let's just go back to 100. Or 100 miles, close enough. Flip, rotates, I would assume. Our lighting mode, multiply or screen. I prefer the multiply. Lighting adjustment. So that's pretty subtle. And color adjustment. let's go somewhere in here. And where we're going to output it to, yeah, we'll just put it on a new layer. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Not really sure if I would ever use this or not. So there's a little quick view of what it actually does. So yeah, we'll probably see a lot of these guys on a lot of photos on Instagram very, very soon. I'll probably post this one. It is just to continue this discussion. But yeah, it's kind of cool in a weird way, but it's also really scary to me. So let's talk more about that. All right, so there you can see how easy it is to take a photo with not ideal conditions and flick a switch and it completely changes the whole photo. So this brings me back to a conversation I had with a photographer last year who's somewhat well known in the area, and I noticed that a bunch of his photos that he was posting had the same sky. The same, like he saw one great sunset and it just kept going on to different foregrounds. And it upset me a little bit because he was not stating in his descriptions of these photos that they were essentially fake, that they were digital art, not photography, which is a separate thing to me. I'm not trying to take anything away from digital art. It's just a different form of art than photography. So if he would have said, this is a composite of several photographs, then I would have been totally fine with it. I have friends who do post composites and they're very straightforward about it. And because of that, I've got no complaints. But he seemed very deceitful about the ways he was going about it. Even when people asked him, he would not just give a straightforward answer. And this just doesn't make any sense to me. And I feel like the photographers that are out there that are putting in countless hours going out, like I described in that photo in Photoshop, putting in a lot of hours to try to achieve a shot. And when you don't get it, you just kind of cop out and fake it. And I think that takes something away from the effort that people put into getting the really good shots that they get. I'm sure some of it's luck, but a lot of it in the photography world is just persistence and trying over and over and over again, or really, really knowing the conditions. But yeah, he completely disagreed and didn't see anything wrong with that. And whatever, we're both entitled to our opinions. But I've already seen a lot of comments in forums with this software coming out this week with Photoshop's update, and people saying photography is dying slowly and this is what's killing it. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think there's a lot of people who take a lot of pride in their work that will continue to go out and take real photographs. To me, photography is so much about trying to capture how I saw the scene with my eyes. It's not about, coming home and pushing the saturation way up and making everything crazy and colorful when it wasn't. I like to keep it as real as I can. So putting a completely different sky on it doesn't work. So yeah, I'm kind of curious what other photographers think. If this is something they're excited about and they will use a lot, or if it's just kind of a gimmick. And maybe people who don't take a lot of photos and don't try to sell their work, if they want to put an exciting sky on it and hang it on their wall, by all means, that's great. I have no issues with that at all. So I'm also curious what fans of photography think about this. If you were to buy a print and hang it on your wall and find out that the print was created by several photographs being combined, or a fake sky put on in Photoshop, would that bother you? A lot of people, I imagine it would not. The art, they like the way the picture looks as it is, and how it was created doesn't necessarily matter. But then I think there's also a lot of other people who really, they hang a photograph on their wall trying to connect with what was trying to connect with the photographer sitting there in that moment capturing the photograph. Because I know for me, when I look at photography, that's a big part of it for me is trying to kind of get in the head of who is shooting the photo and trying to get the calming feeling that they probably had when they were sitting on the side of this mountain taking this photograph. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. Leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts on this. Are you for it? Against it? Does it really not matter? And of course, I mean, none of this really matters. It's all just our opinions. But yeah, I think it's a conversation worth having, because as technology continues to do more stuff like this, it could really change the whole world of photography. All right, well, I hope to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.